Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Tuesday, the 21st of May. It was a beautiful weekend. We got some sun on Monday, and the rain cleared up. I'm not sure whether we got enough rain in Manitoba for our forest fires or not, but we certainly had a lot of rain to green everything up here in Brandon. Um, I am filming for Kim, who always commented on my deck in Wainwright. This is my new deck, and I'm sitting so what you're facing is the east. What you can see behind me is the east, um, the eastern direction. Our house faces north south, so I'm sitting. The deck is on the south side of the house. I'm recording this on Monday evening at about 8:30, and it's a little bit chilly outside, but it's too beautiful not to be outside. And one of the gifts of this weekend has been this long weekend has been um, a friend came over, Cheryl came over to help us, and we found our kitchen. It's been under boxes, like I mean literally boxes everywhere in the middle of everything. And now we can find things. We still have to sort of tweak where things are and figure out which things are going to go down to the basement for storage or because they're only used once in a while. But we have a kitchen again, which means I can have breakfast and make coffee in my own kitchen after for the first time in like a month. It's awesome. But also this weekend, I had the opportunity to go up to Anglican Memorial Camp, which is on Riding Mountain National Park in Manitoba, and it's all relative. A mountain in Manitoba is not a mountain in Alberta. It does not look like the Rockies, nor even does it look like the mountains in the east, in the Laurentians, or the Appalachians, as the Laurentians are called into the states. But it is a mountain for Manitoba in the middle of the prairies, and it is absolutely phenomenally beautiful. We saw two coyotes on the way up and a fox. The fox we saw in Brandon. Unfortunately, it had some small prey in its mouth, so I hope it wasn't somebody's cat. But on our way up, we saw two coyotes and an owl who came to its demise in the middle of the highway. But last week, when I was coming back from the paw, I saw two bears and a mule deer in the mountain in the park. It was beautiful. So we headed up. Rob and I headed up to meet Grant and Cheryl and Rue McKenzie, who is the coordinator for the camp, and a few other people for the camp cleanup day. That sort of day when you go and take stock of what the wind has done and what the winter's done and clean things up. And we all rolled up our sleeves and focused on the dining cabin, the dining hall, and cleaned up some grease and put away dishes and just had a great day. It was raining for most of the day, so there was a limited amount of what could be done outside. But they got the heat started up, the hot water tank started back up, and we donated our old couch to the rec hall for the kids to hang out on and to tell stories on and have fun. But we just had a really good day getting the camp ready for the kids. Now, Anglican Memorial Camp is a little bit different than camps I'm used to. I'm used to Huron Church Camp or Camp Huron, now it's called, which had multiple cabins, and they would have kids from 8 years old up to 13, 14 years old all summer long. And this camp, we can take about 20 kids at a time, and we've got several cabins for the boys and girls. And they run a junior camp the first week in July. The next week is an intermediate camp. The following week is a family camp, and the last week in July is a teen camp. And the counselors are not the same every week. They have different chaplains or rectors, priests or people who come forward who can assist in teaching the Christian education pieces and being a person who is there to for the kids. There's lots of kids in the camp who come from places like Easterville and Opaskwayak Cree Nation, north of the Paw. And for some of them, they've never had a camp experience. And one of the incredible gifts of the Anglican Memorial Camp, which has been running since 1950, is that no child is turned away because they can't afford it. We have lots of people who can afford to send their kids to camp, and that's awesome. But we also get funding from Council of the North and other places who support us to make sure that those kids who maybe come from families who just can't manage a couple $100s to send their kids to camp or can't get them to camp, to make sure that they come. And as a matter of fact, the last couple of years, I believe we've had a bus that went up to Easterville and brought kids down. So Indigenous kids that maybe wouldn't have been offered the opportunity of being on Clear Lake for a week in the summer to do ropes courses and Christian ed and all kinds of games and swimming in the lake and kayaking and canoeing and all those kinds of things, got a week of play and a week of prayer and a week of just being reminded that they are children of God and they are beautiful and they are loved. That is what happens at Anglican Memorial Camp. It is chaos and it's creation and it's bonfires. And this year they're working on doing the seven teachings, the seven Indigenous teachings that coordinate with the way we think as Christians. There's opportunities we're having for a sacred, seeing if we can investigate the possibility of having a sacred fire for the kids. Um, just an incredible opportunity. This is a ministry of our diocese. As a matter of fact, when I was at the Episcopal Synod and the Synod before that in November, the couple of days before that, if someone had asked me, if you didn't know anything about the Diocese of Brandon ahead of time, what would you come away from their synod to thinking about it? What do they hold dear? And that really is what a synod should be. A synod is a gathering of the church. When we gather, we often talk about the finances and the business of the church and what our mission and ministry is. And if someone had asked me clearly, what do people believe in? What are they passionate about? And in Brandon, I would have said the camp. AMC is the central, if you think of a circle, a wheel, and the hub and all the spokes, in so many ways, the way the entire diocese talks about the camp is the hub. We have priests who grew up going to the camp, who went on, people who grew up going to the camp who have gone on to become priests in our diocese. We have adults who have come back to be volunteers and leaders because they went to the camp as a child. We have young people now who are getting more involved in the church and in the camp itself because they spent some time as a child at the camp. The camp is something that we have in common across the diocese. And for many of the clergy and many of the lay readers and lay leaders of the church, the camp is something that they have experienced themselves. And now I've had just a couple of hours as I was cleaning the kitchen, scrubbing grease and getting rid of cobwebs and cleaning and washing windows to say that I've had an experience of the camp as well. We have the incredible gift of being part of the Anglican Foundation um, Say Yes to Kids campaign, where in June, the Anglican Foundation is highlighting every diocese has been invited to participate in sharing with others what they're doing to say yes to kids. How are they supporting children's ministries, youth ministries? And we are one of the groups that has been chosen to be part of the foundation's fundraiser. So if people are interested, they can go to the Anglican Church of Canada website and click on the Anglican Foundation. And then there's a whole program called Say Yes to Kids, and you can scroll through until you find each one of the camps. And Camp Huron is right at the top, I think, but we're down. You got to go through quite a few to get to us. But Brandon's Diocese of Brandon is Anglican Memorial Camp, and people can make donations directly by donating through Canada Helps. It's a button right there on your computer. You can make a donation that way. And by doing so, you are helping sponsorship, your camperships. So every cent that is made through the Say Yes to Kids campaign for the Anglican Foundation helps a child to go to camp. And helps us because, quite frankly, every child who wants to go to camp, who really wants to go, even if they can't afford it, will make that happen. And these camperships or sponsorships that are happening through the Anglican Foundation allow us the ability to have a little bit of easing up on our resources because we won't turn someone away. So this actually helps us a great deal because there are lots of other things that we need for the camp. We need some new tin roof, and we need to add an addition to a couple of the camp cabins because we need to have some more square footage for bunks. We need our bathrooms need a makeover. Our ablutions rooms, as Rob calls them, where you can have a shower and you go to the bathroom, wash your face, and things like that. They're indeed in need of a bit of work. Just cleaning up the camp. We have an incredible chapel, and there's places where limbs have come down over the winter. We need to clean that up and make sure everything's in good shape. Our water heaters are really, really old and need to be replaced, and there are aspects of the kitchen that are probably on its last legs. So all of these things, anytime anyone makes a donation to help a sponsorship or a campership, means that we can find the funds for those other things from the monies that we have, that we would be saying to kids, absolutely, if you need to come to camp, we'll make it happen. This is one of those things that helps our Diocese of Brandon, as they say, hit above our weight class. We are a diocese that knows how to make duct tape, rubber gum, bubble gum, and elastics work really well, the whole thing's together. But we are also a diocese that recognizes the importance of our young people and the importance of loving each other and helping them have a relationship with God, the Creator, through creation. And the people who are there are absolutely phenomenal. And the people who have gone before us have left us an incredible legacy. And we are hoping that we will be able to leave a legacy for those who come after us. It's a beautiful place. So I ask your prayers for Anglican Memorial Camp. I ask for prayers for all of the kids, whether they realize it or not, who are going to come to camp this year. And they are going to have the time of their life. For some of them, this will be a time change, a changing of their lives. They will experience and feel something that maybe they've never felt before, never experienced before. And they're for the adults, for the teenagers who volunteer as counselors, for whoever it is we hire as our lifeguard or lifeguards, for our cook and our cook's assistants and our handy person, because we're looking for those. If you have anybody, if you know of anybody who's willing to work for a small wage, not like, a fair wage, but not a lot, but you get your room and board and you're able to get up here to Brandon, we can get you there. Let us know, because we've got positions open. But this, I cannot express how important this camp is to this diocese. Not because we look at the future, children as the future of the church, but because in this diocese we acknowledge the children are the church, just like everybody else is. And these kids, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, kids who live in the inner cities, kids who live in the country, kids who have opportunities to get to places, and kids who never get a chance to go anywhere. It's a level playing field at the camp. They come and they play and they learn and they grow and they make new friends and they come closer to Creator, and they really begin to understand what it means to be a part of a bigger family. And there's nothing like that. So I invite you, I implore you, I ask you, I beg you to pray for the camp. Pray that God will bless every child and every volunteer and every staff person this summer. Pray that we will have good weather, even though there are mussel zebras or zebra mussels in the lake and we can't put even in a canoe or kayak in the water. That pray that we will have a lifeguard, that we can go swimming in the water, and that the kids will enjoy themselves in a way they never have before, and in a way that will change their lives forever. Please pray for the Anglican Memorial Camp and the work that we are doing and the people we do it with. Have a great day. God bless you, and I will see you again tomorrow, Wednesday, for Church at Home with Rachel.